give me just 1 minute to get all set up and stuff. Make sure all my things are working the way they're supposed to be. Let's start some music. Let's see. Chat box, good. Alert box, good. Make sure all my things are working the way they're supposed to be. Sounds okay. Alright, yeah. If anyone wants to let me know how my, my audio is, you know, voice to music ratio, whatever. So, last week I did this sketch, in my sketchbook. And I have scanned it, and you could see, you know, unfortunately, especially since I have a very heavy hand and I press really hard into my paper, there's a lot of like grooves and things like that. Areas that should be a little darker aren't, they're like depressed more into the paper, so they reflect the scanner light more. And then areas that are like supposed to be a little lighter end up looking darker. So I'm gonna be going through this and with my Wacom and just fixing up the shading and the line work. I'll also be separating the characters from the background so that I can do some light play in there. And I have this extra layer of background that I'm gonna be adding in. I just scanned this out of my sketchbook a few minutes ago. So, that's what I'll be doing tonight. Now you know. And I'll be putting them into here and putting some effects over them. This is the style that the entire book has been done in, so keeping to that. Let's see. Close some of the things I don't need. Some of these things into different layers, groups. We'll see about this. I'll take it as it comes. I think the first step will be for me to get all these pieces in one place. So that should fit something like that. Might see if I'll have an easier time doing this with my Wacom. Just might. Cut away all this white. I guess you could call what I'm doing tonight compositing. Taking a couple different layers and putting them all together, giving them some depth, and putting them into a book, and then giving that an antiquing effect. This is the very last illustration, like full-page illustration anyway, in this book that I think is about, when all is said and done, about 150 pages. An art book. I've worked on this in a few streams now, quite a few. And so what we've been doing is, you know, I'll do 2 weeks of this project, and then do 2 weeks of Tracy Queen, one of our other projects, and then I'll do 2 weeks of Pack, one of our other projects, and then come back to this for 2 weeks. So this way, each project gets 2 Tuesday night streams. And then sometimes I'll throw in a random additional stream, and anyone that's following me and gets notifications, that's an option you can turn on. Anyone that's following me and gets notifications will get a little email when I'm doing an impromptu stream, you know, just something unplanned or like extra. You know, I might have like just a pinup art piece or something like that from one of these projects that might not, you know, fit the normal schedule, because I'm trying to keep my Tuesday night streams to actual pages from the book. But if I'm doing a piece that's like, I don't know, you know, like pinup or, you know, some kind of promotional art, that'll fall into the category of an impromptu stream, and that might take place any night, like a Tuesday night or a Wednesday, or not Tuesday, because Tuesday is my normal stream, like, you know, a Wednesday night or Thursday night or something, or random Saturday. A lot of times my impromptu streams happen to be on like Saturday or Sunday. But yeah. Anyway, I'm just talking, filling up random air with my lung sounds. That's what talking is, really. Kind of weird. Got a little adventure story that happened this week, but I think I'm gonna wait until there's a few more people in the chat, just so, you know, I'm not repeating it. But a lot of times, like a half an hour after I start streaming or so, a few more people might show up, so I'll sit on this story. But it involves getting stuck in a snowstorm in Donner Pass. Donner Pass has quite a reputation. Those of you that don't know, Google knows. It's funny, when I'm zoomed in like this, I realize, like, sometimes things that can really pass as like hair or grass or a tree or, you know, like clothing texture when I'm zoomed out, and I zoom in and I'm like, wow, that completely does not look like anything. When I'm drawing, I just kind of like do my fiddly textures all quick and twitchy and, you know, like it's just all and, you know, usually at normal viewing distance, like the size I drew it at, it holds up. Zooming in on it, it's like, what the hell am I looking at? What is that? Is that a bowl of salad? No, that's her hair. What? Get out of town. Dark Brony Testament. Hey man, how are you doing? I'm good. How are you doing? What's your week been like? Everything cool on your end? And thanks for stopping by. I don't know why I said men. I'm assuming, like, I read it as brony, so I'm thinking brony is like typically used as male gender, but that I shouldn't be making assumptions. You can definitely correct me if I'm saying it wrong or, you know, whatever. I'm okay. It's my birthday this Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that. Awesome. Happy birthday. You have any big plans? Make it nice and relaxing or super crazy, or I don't know. There's a lot that can be done with birthdays, and it can go in either direction. So it all depends on what your fun is. Unless you're like working on your birthday, then, you know, you can maybe enjoy it after or before. I guess you could enjoy your birthday at work. I mean, or whatever, school, or I don't know. Now, Control-Shift-I to inverse my selection. Control-J to duplicate what is selected. Bam! Bam! Oh man. Not particularly. I'll probably pick up a copy of The Evil Within. The Evil Within. That is a really familiar title, but I'm not placing it for some reason. And so I drew this background in the car today, completely separate of this foreground. I didn't even have the foreground to look at as reference. I just remembered the foreground and I drew the background and I was like, man, I really hope this works. I'm okay with it. I think it worked so far. Make a scrap layer to save my originals. Scrap folder rather. It's a survivor horror game made by some of the guys that worked on Resident Evil. Cool. That sounds like fun. Sounds like a good way to spend a day. Okay, so now I've got backups of that. I think I'm gonna separate the mountains from the sky, and I might even separate out the clouds from the sky so I can really get crazy with my effect sauce. Affecting all the sauce commands me. looking forward to it. Most horror games conform to the same formula these days. It'll be a breath of fresh air. Yeah, you know, the thing is, whenever something is like really groundbreaking, then it's like the thing that starts the trope, and then like the next couple hundred things have to copy off of the thing that was groundbreaking. The reason why it was groundbreaking is because it wasn't copying off of other things as much, you know, it was like something dares to take a chance and do something different, and that makes it so popular, and then everything bites off of it, and then it's like not popular anymore because it's just everything else bites off of it. And sometimes people even forget, like, they're like, oh, that's so been done before, and it's like, no, that was the thing that did it, you know, like... It's hard when your claim to fame is being a groundbreaker, like, say, Resident Evil was very, like, even the first Resident Evil for PlayStation was, like, super groundbreaking. Now if you look at it, it's like, oh god, I can't believe people played that, you know? Well, not really, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but the point is there. Like, man, I think the last actual, like, horror game that I played all the way through, only because I don't really play video games much anymore, was Silent Hill 4, The Room. That game was so fucking good. So creepy. So freaky. And like, you know, whatever. It was... You know, graphics have come a long way since then, and gameplay has come a long way since then. But it was just so, like, creepy in this, like, psychological... mess with your head sort of way, and I wasn't prepared for it, you know. Now it's like, now if you play a game like that, you're like, oh yeah, we're all prepared for this, we know how this is gonna go. At the time it was just like, what? I really like running away in first person perspective. Always enjoyed having more to defend myself with. So the Evil Within is it more like a fighting horror game then? Where you gotta duke it out with the baddies. Bads. Okay, that looks like a good selection to me. I'm going to inverse my selection and copy that layer. Call it mountains. Mountains. Candy Mountain. No, kidding. I'll call this sky, and then I'll copy the clouds onto their own layer and call them clouds. I'll call this foreground, and then I'll copy the characters onto their own layer. Pretty much, you play as a detective and you have to escape a city that's falling to ruin while monsters are trying to kill you. Awesome! Kind of reminds me, well, I mean, I guess not really, but I remember, I think it was Nightmare Creatures for N64. That was like one of those games that would have been really cool, but the gameplay was just a little I don't know, what was it? The gameplay was like, I don't want to say, like they just didn't really figure out 3D yet, you know, like how to have a game like that work. Moderators of this room. Oh, why am I reading that? That's not a. Pretty much. Yeah. Okay. There's no. That's weird. My Uncart chat just told me who the moderators of this room are. I'm like, I know who the moderators of this room are. Why would it just decide to tell me that now? I know clouds aren't really supposed to be hard-edged, but this is an illustration of an illustration, so I'm taking the liberty. Made the game because they felt Resident Evil had abandoned what made it the series it was. Yeah, I haven't really played any of the more recent Resident Evils, but it seemed like it just kind of kept jumping the shark and then being like, well, where do we go from here? I don't know, let's just do more. Which, you know, is really common downfall of a lot of franchises. You get to like the 8th one and it's like, well, we've kind of done everything already. I don't know, let's just do more of everything. Let's just, you know, and it's like, well, no, at this point, what are you doing? But like I said, I haven't really played any of the more recent Resident Evils, so I don't know. I don't know if that's the case with them. So you know what? Maybe I don't want to separate out the clouds in another layer. Maybe that's not all what I want to do. Let's try this instead. Let's nice little gradient over the cloud layer. Linear gradient. Exactly 90 and raise this up. Scale that. Try this as an overlay. We try it as a multiple. So this is an experiment. Going on a hiatus at the comic I'm doing. I'm ready to try something original. It's actually inspired by the clown sightings that were taking place. Oh yeah, the clown sightings. Creepy. That's good fodder for a nice original story. That is way too intense. just tried completely unplugging and replugging back in my mic. Hell demons on top of your voice, basically. Good, sounds sweet. I know there's a delay, so by the time I'm done saying this, you won't hear it for like a minute, but... Sounds normal again? Okay, awesome. That's crazy. Well, you know, maybe it was just to go with what Dark Brony was talking about. He was like metal and grunge, and my voice was like, rah! You know, my mic is very excitable. Well, thanks for letting me know, because I would have had no idea, because I actually can't hear myself, because then you would all get a crazy delay echo. My mic has demons in it. Cool. There's an idea for a horror game. Why not? Ah. Could just be that I'm overloading my system a little, I don't know. The mic of doom! So the reason why it might seem like I'm kind of rushing this step is because when you're doing like a pass, like something that you're doing to the entire page or a large section of a page, and it's a very technique-based thing, one of the big problems is by the time you get to the end of the page, what you were doing at the beginning of the page has morphed into something else, and then it like loses consistency and kind of breaks the illusion. So what I'm trying to do is get to the end of this side of the page before it changes too much, my technique, you know, like, because it's... So, and then, you know, that's why I like to do passes real quick. Do one pass of the entire page, and then do another pass refining it if you need to, and, you know, just try to, like, make sure that all your passes are kind of within the same universe, you know, that they look like they fit together. It's about time for that little reminder. Anyone who like followed a link on Facebook or whatever to get here and is not logged in to Twitch, if you're logged into Facebook in another tab, you can actually join Twitch and log in with your Facebook credentials, and it's absolutely free. And the cool thing about that is when you're logged in and you're registered, it counts as me getting a view on my stream, which is always nice for me. I'd rather have more than less views. And B, it's also cool because then you can chat with me in my little chat box, and then not suffer the mic of doom. No, yeah, if you're logged in, then, you know, cool, we can talk and stuff. Groovy. Or you could log in and not chat with me if you're like just feeling like, you know, quietly lurking. That's cool. Some people are really shy, right? Totally fine, but it's still, if you're logged in, it gives me a view at least, so that's kind of helping me out. You know, it makes my channel look more attractive to people that are perusing channels, and then, yeah. I just always know, like, after a stream where it's like, oh, I've had like 4 views, and then the next day on Facebook or like in person, like 5 different people will be like, oh yeah, your stream last night, that was really cool. And I'm like, you saw it, but you weren't logged in. Why? Why? Alright, I'm done. I'm not going to twist anyone's arm. If you are watching, I hope you're enjoying. I drew this in the car today. We were in the car for, I don't know, 5 hours, 5.5 hours. Driving by some mountains, and clouds were all cool, and I realized this cool thing that happens when mountains are being lit from the sun and you can see this. I mean, clouds and mountains actually are being lit from the sun and you can see the sun, like the sun is in your field of vision. You know, the lighting actually becomes like point lighting from the sun, which might sound obvious, but it's real easy to like not observe that and not notice it unless you're like planning on drawing it. I always feel like, you know, when I see something that looks cool, I don't want to just take it in, I want to study it. I want to find its secrets. Tell me, clouds, tell me why you look so cool. And so I realized, I was like, oh right, I need to make a background for this piece. So I just kind of drew this while we were in the car. But I didn't have the piece with me, it was in the camper in the back. So I couldn't like really judge it like scale wise, like, oh man, is this background gonna fit the rest of the piece? Like, what if it doesn't? And I'm streaming tonight, what if I'm like on my stream and I throw it in there and it just looks horrible? And I was like, well, that's what Photoshop is for. But you know, to my pleasant surprise, it seems to have just plopped right in there and kind of works really well with the foreground, I think. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of finessing here like I'm doing, and that's it. Sample COG! So that is the free to download COG sample from our Oneshi Press Patreon campaign. And that'll give you just like the first introduction chapter to this book that I'm currently working on. So, you know, each chapter after that goes over like a different nation, and that's not in the sample, but the sample is to kind of just give you an idea, a feel for the book. It's, again, it's a free to download PDF, so I hope you download it and enjoy it and check it out and all that stuff if you haven't already. So all of the light on all of these clouds is coming from about here-ish. Same is true of these mountains. All of the light is gonna be coming, like if there was more mountains on this side to the right, the light would be coming from this side on these mountains, while it's coming from this side on these mountains. This is kind of really fun, like very just beautiful effect that I noticed today, and I was like, man, I gotta use that. I don't even think I realized that I was noticing that and appreciating it until like after the fact. It was just like, oh, that's really cool. Doing it, you know. Anything when you're, you know, drawing, even if you're not drawing from life, but you're inspired from life and looking at something as like loose reference, all those neat little things that you learn. How light does what it do and why. You know, maybe I'll just call this background. Let's use it on the mountains too. Same letter. So I worked for PAC last time, so yeah, that's the other. I think next week will be Tracy Queen, and then the week after that will be Tracy Queen. So I'll be doing one stream drawing, like doing the actual penciling of the page for Tracy Queen, and then the next stream will be coloring it, and then I'll do the same thing for PAC, where it'll be, you know, one stream drawing out the page, and then the next Tuesday coloring it. So I don't want to overdo it on these clouds to the point where I lose the illusion that I'm trying so hard to create so carefully. See about this. I'm going to now try to just add in sunlight. I'll just do it on a separate layer so that I can move it around and experiment with it or delete it and not have to worry about whether or not I effed it all up. Actually. Up to 100%. Up to 100%. And Irish. It's gonna be behind her, but I'm just putting it in front of her for now because I actually didn't separate her onto her own layer yet. Okay, now the next step. Midground. Well, this. Okay. I'll pull this out of here so it's a little easier to see what I'm doing. Just turn this stuff off for a minute. Sometimes when I just have too many layers on while I'm working, it ends up just slowing up Photoshop, and then nothing really works right, and I get little glitches where, like, I'll go to draw a line and nothing will happen for like a moment, and then the line will appear, and it's really frustrating. I don't work like that. So basically I'm copying these characters onto their own layer, and that'll give me some isolated control over them, separate from the rest of the piece. I'm going to do that with the entire foreground. Just basically separating the characters and the log that, the driftwood log that Jan Kazian is sitting on, to make it one layer up in the front. Drunkbot loves to insult Night Nate, doesn't he? Yeah. Oh yeah, Nightbot is his mortal enemy. Nightbot came first. Drunkbot I made to replace Nightbot, but then I didn't replace Nightbot. And now they have a kind of rivalry, where Drunkbot is constantly trying to prove that he's better than Nightbot, and that I don't need Nightbot anymore. And Nightbot is just trying to be useful and failing. Both of them are pretty useless if you ask me. But they're entertaining. Me, anyway. Drunkbot's a little full of himself. In case you haven't noticed. I feel like we all know people like that. Don't we all know someone like Drunkbot? In light of the fact that I've been in the car since Saturday, like I left my sister's house Saturday afternoon and just got home today at like 3-ish. I think today's stream is not gonna be quite as long as some of my others have been. We'll see though. We'll see how I feel. I mean, I'm definitely gonna finish this page. Then there's a few things I could do after that. Like I could scan another piece that needs some work done to it. We'll see. It depends. Like if a bunch of people like show up to the stream like later and I'm almost done with this and I'm still feeling good, then I might, you know, be like, ah, screw it and start another thing. But I might not have it in me, so we'll see. I'm dedicated, but I'm not immortal. Yeah, if I had people on my stream talking to each other the way Nightbot talks to Drunkbot, or the way Drunkbot talks to Nightbot, I would probably have to give them a warning that they might get kicked out if they continue. But since they're bots, I guess they follow a different moral compass than ours, and, you know, who am I to judge, right? Anyway, I was just dropping by to see how you were doing. I have to get my sister's school stuff ready for tomorrow. I'll see you later. Well, cool. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I hope I'll see you next week or maybe sometime between now and then. Take care. Have a great night. song is cool. This is a Jack Shell song. I feel like it strangely goes with the piece too. Again, I feel like this songs can go with just about anything. There is something specifically like of an alien kind of island vibe to it. And you don't really find that. Like you get that in games like Final Fantasy, you get that in games like The Legend of Zelda, and you get that in music like Jack Shell's. Hence this playlist. Basically, I'm just trying to go back through on my drawing. Tighten everything up a bit. Kind of see there's all this like fun textury stuff that I did with my pencil, but somewhere in the translation from a sketchbook to Photoshop, it's all like faded and you can't really see the tonality of it. So now I'm just going over it, and it actually gives me a cool opportunity to give it like an extra little layer of texture. hopefully, if I don't mess it up. Whatever happened here when I scanned this must have just been a massive glare, like, right over this area. Pretty sure I spent a pretty good amount of time shading all this and throwing in all these details, and don't even look like anything. And here I am. Sometimes doing it the first time just is practice for doing it the second time. She's really shiny. Well, it's true. I mean, she's like in the sun on a tropical beach. That'd probably make me really shiny. Also, she's got really dark skin, so on one hand, while that probably protects her from a lot of the sun's rays, it also absorbs a lot of the heat from it, so I'm sure that doesn't make it so comfortable. This is when the raw edge of a tight weave such as cotton is fraying, and you take the fray and tie it off into little knots. Then it creates these little froofy frillies that a lot on sarongs and stuff often end in little froofy frillies like that, or what's the word? Ponchos, which I guess are wool, but they're still also like a tight weave, And it's a type of weave, where it's like checkerboard pattern weaving, like that could just come undone. So these little pom-pom frillies lining the edge of it, they give it a little bit of support and integrity so that it doesn't fall apart, and they also look cool. Yay! So let's see. Much better, right? Let's see if I could bring some of that out in him. Try to put down all these darker lines before I take my first break, and then when I come back, I try to put in any little highlights, little white lines, just help separate everything. Make things look like stuff. Had a few people say to me, like, why don't you just do one or the other? Like, drawing in graphite and then scanning and then drawing in Photoshop seems like a lot of extra work. It's like, well, you know, then I can really get that best of both worlds, I hope, you know, if I do it right. Like, I can get that really neat, sharp look that you can get when you're zooming in Photoshop and moving around on the page and, you know, really like finessing things, in addition to that really awesome graphite kind of look that, you know, they're two very different things. They both provide great, you know, fun, first of all, so always remember that, but also, you know, aesthetically they provide their own benefits that are unique, and when you combine them, I feel like you can get a really just delicious marriage. You know, it's something that is easy to overlook because you almost might not notice it, but I think when it's like pointed out, there's something like, oh yeah, that is special, neat, at least to me. But I mean, you know, I'm partial because it's what I'm doing. Of course I'm partial to what I'm doing. I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't. And then, you know, when I'm done with this later and it's published and it's out in the world, I'm gonna be like, that's crap, why did I do that? And that will motivate me to do something else, something even better. It's a tough life. Not like thug life tough, just like self-deprecating tough. But don't underestimate that. That is a powerful kind of tough. I gotta say that word like 13 times. This is the part where anyone watching this on YouTube goes back and rewinds and counts. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. It's weird. I don't like it. Sometimes I stare at feet and I command them. Show me your secrets, foot, or one day I'll be able to draw you. Just like the clouds. Or bottles of wine. Show me your secrets, bottle of wine. Although, whenever I ask the bottle of wine to show me its secrets, I don't get very far. Wine beats paper. Wine has a really loud voice. It's so whiny if you don't listen to it. Here are my secrets, bitch! And then it's all over. You're like, wait, what? You wake up the next day with a headache. I feel like I vaguely remember this weird dream about secrets, and now I can't remember what it was. Damn it! Yep. That's the line. Fragrant helix! I am the Eggman, cuckoo cachoo! How's it going, Eggman? What's happening on this lovely Tuesday night for you? Relaxing in the cold. Yum. Yep. Yeah, it's, I don't know where you are, but it's definitely not warm here either. Although, we did just get back from being stuck in a snowstorm at Donner Pass. which made our 3-day trip home from Mountain View, Missoula, into a 4-day trip home. It was quite exciting. Yeah, I actually got home today around, well, mountain time anyway. It was around 3:30, and I started my stream at 5:30. Like enough time to like throw my stuff down, shower, and eat, and start streaming. It was pretty crazy. I should ease off on some of these more sharper white details that I'm adding in. I don't want to tip my hand too much that I'm doing a lot in post, because this is supposed to look like this character who lives in a world where there aren't even computers illustrated this. Granted, it can look a little like fantastically better than, you know, what you might expect someone to draw freehand, because he's an elven type character, like Oneshi, which in that world is the equivalent of what we think of as elves, pretty much. You know, it's conceivable that this character might have like just perfect hand control or something, you know, a little fantasy based. Your name card. What's happening, dude? How you doing tonight? Everybody's showing up, Driz. I'm about to take my break. That's always how it goes. I'll hold off on the break for a little bit. So, okay, how's everything? Not bad, not bad. Just got home from Thanksgiving trip today. Actually, I got home at like 3 o'clock today, which I started my stream at 5:30 like normal. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it, but I was like, you know what? Screw it. I just got on and did it. So here I am. But it's been a crazy long weekend. We left my sister's house on Saturday afternoon, and we've just been driving in the car and sleeping in the car, or in the camper rather, Bill's camper. We were towing that, so yeah, it was crazy. Like, we tried to take the Donner Pass coming in from, you know, the west coast inland, trying to make it from California to, I guess that would be Nevada. Anyway, there's like a different way we could have went, where there would have been like 6 passes, but none of them are quite as bad as Donner Pass. But it's like, well, if we just get through this one pass, then, you know, we won't have any more passes to deal with. And we just wanted to, like, get home the quickest and easiest way. So we were like, yeah, let's go through Donner Pass. So, like, you know, we leave Mountain View, California, in the San Francisco, San Jose area, and, like, it's beautiful weather. I mean, like, 60 degrees, you know, like, beautiful, warm. And we drive out, and I don't know how far it was, but it's only like a couple hours, if even. Lindsay, do you remember how far away Donner Pass is from Mountain View? Anyway, we get up in the pass, and it's like a snowstorm. Like, just nails us. And we're like, oh shit, and everyone's slowing down, and there's bad traffic, and then there's like, I don't know, like, road safety people, like, stopping people, telling them that they have to have chains on their tires, on any braking tires have to have chains on them to be able to go forward. So, like, thankfully, you know, Bill's like, yeah, I've got chains, cool. So we put, like, chains on the truck, on the rear 2 tires of the truck, and we're like, yeah, cool, let's go. So we're gonna go, and then they, at the next, like, checkpoint or whatever, they stop us. They're like, no, you have to have chains on the camper's braking tires too. We're like, we don't have more chains. So we had to find, like, the one rest stop in the area, and of course there's like hundreds of people there trying to buy chains. So we get in line, and, like, you know, hours later or whatever, we finally got the chains for the camper, but by now it's like really bad out, and it's late, and we're like, well, we don't want to do this like late in the dark, and like it's getting worse. Like, maybe we should just find a place to stop for the night. So Google to the rescue. We find an RV park nearby that's open year-round, right? Awesome. So we get off at the next exit and start looking for this RV park, and then all of a sudden Google says your destination is on the left. We look on the... No, it isn't. What are you talking about? And by now we're like down this dirt road that is completely covered in snow. No street lights, you know, the only thing you see is just snow and trees. And we're like, okay, well, where's this RV park? Because, like, it's a one-way road, and we can't turn around on this road with the camper. And we look up, we go a little bit further, and we see bright lights. Like, oh, what's that? Maybe that's it, you know? Turns out these are headlights from a car, because there was a multi-car pileup on this one-way dirt road that is now covered in snow. So we're like, oh my god, like, what can we do? Like, it was snowing too hard to, I don't know, so we couldn't turn around because we're in a truck pulling a camper. There's like no way to turn around. and there's all these cars piled up on top of each other in front of us. They finally do end up getting themselves free. The cars, that is. But by time that happened, it was already like there was so much snow, and we were like, man, we should just park right here and just sleep in the camper tonight. Because our only other option, we couldn't go forward because what do you call it? Because we were now at the base of a hill, and in front of us was a huge hill, and the reason why all these cars piled up is because they were going up this hill and up this hill, and then like they just couldn't get traction and slid one down on top of the other, and it, you know, so we're like, well, if these Jeeps couldn't make it up that hill, we definitely can't make it up that hill with the camper, but we can't back out all the way to the highway at night when we're like on this one-way like snow-covered road, so let's just camp here for the night. So we do. We camp in the camper right on the road. You know, we just put down the pods and whatever and just camp. I mean, you know, off to the side, but it's like a one-way road. Like, there wasn't a lot of side. But anyway, we did that, and we woke up in the morning, and it was just like a foot of snow, and in some places where there was snow drifts, like 2 feet of snow, you know? And everything is frozen, and we still can't turn the camper around. So we decided to just drive forward where the road widens out just a little bit to try and turn the camper around. So Bill's driving and he's like trying to turn the camper around, and it goes off the road into a ditch, like just the front couple of tires. So he's like trying to back up and he just can't. The more he tries to back up, the more the car risks sliding into the ditch because it's like just not getting any traction. So at this point it's just sliding. So we had to unhitch the camper, and finally he was able to get the truck back on the road, but now the camper is like sideways on the road and there's still no way to turn it around. So there was this like gate off to one side that led to private property, and it was locked, and we were like, well shit, it's an emergency, we gotta break that gate and just push the camper back just enough to be able to turn it around. So he pulled the truck in at an angle, attached it to the camper, and then just like backed it through this gate, and it was just enough to turn it around. It took a really long time. It was really stressful, really scary, really difficult, but it worked. We got the camper turned around finally, going in the right direction. Yay, we escaped. Let's go get the best breakfast ever. It's gonna be so awesome. Oh shit, there's another hill that we have to go up to get back to the highway. Well, we can do this. We did the hard part. This is gonna be not bad. We get like almost to the top of the hill, and the car just can't handle it, just can't do any more traction. I mean, the truck could, like, he's got a really powerful, you know, ram, and it's a big freaking ram, but the road itself was a dirt road, so like as the car is like revving to get traction, it's just digging into the road, so now the wheels are like in the road, you know, like just dug out. Oh my god. And so we're out there like trying to get the car free, and I've been outside since I woke up this morning. Hours have gone by, it's freezing out, all the snow that's on my clothes has melted, so now it's like I'm wearing wet clothes and it's starting to ice. My pants were like hard in places, like just iced, you know, from like the snow melting and then freezing. So like we're literally like just freezing and stuck again on this road a dirt road covered in snow that no one ever goes down, and we're just like so fucked. So, you know, Bill calls roadside assistance, and they're, you know, where are you? What are you doing there? Why are you there? How'd you get there? You know, just like, okay, we'll connect you to someone else, and then they connect you to someone else, and then we'll connect you to someone else, and like it's just not going well. You know, like we're gonna be there for hours before roadside assistance shows up. And like we're worried, like, well, if we all go to hang out in the camper, what if the camper goes off the frickin' road and we're like tumbling down the mountain, you know? Like at this point it's like, shit, what are we gonna do? This is bad, you know, like not very cool. And then up over the hill, like just comes these like, I don't know, five just gnarly ass pickup trucks. Dun 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 dun, like just good old boys. Just mountain kids out for having fun in the snow, you know? I mean, one of them was like an orange pickup with like the back window was a Confederate flag, you know? was like, whoa, are these guys gonna kill us? Like, I don't know, like, should we talk to them? But, you know, we told them, and they were really nice. They actually, like, stopped and helped us. They linked all their trucks together with chains and tow line, and then linked their pickups to Bill's truck. And, you know, they all start pulling in unison, and the truck is still just grinding and going deeper. The chains around Bill's tires totally snapped, and it was like, oh shit, his tires are like in the ground. Like, you can't pull him because you're pulling the earth right now. You're not gonna win, you know. So we all get shovels and we get to digging and like just trying to dig, instead of like the tires being like you know, sitting in holes, we had to like dig it to like ramp down to the tire so that they could pull them up out of the holes. So we had to like do some like gnarly ass digging, freezing cold, which was actually, at least the digging warmed me up, you know. But yeah, so after some digging, then we tried it again with the trucks, and they had to figure out like pulling the trucks in order, like the furthest one to the back had to start, and then the next one starts, and then the next one starts, and then Bill starts, and like finally we got it all up. And it was just like, it was amazing. Like that rush, everyone just started like howling, you know, like woo, like just like craziness. That's my story. So, anyone else have a Thanksgiving adventure they want to share? We survived Donner Pass without having to resort to cannibalism, as Donner Pass is famous for. Not joking. Nope. Did I lose you all? Was that story too long? Wow. Yeah, it was definitely freaking amazing. It's like, man, I felt like I was in a movie, you know? We all were just like, not sure if we were gonna get out of there, you know? But it's like, I mean, you know, we will. As long as we don't go over the side of the mountain, we will survive this. Somehow. And all these good old boys just showed up to the rescue. It was great. Like, well, thank God we're not darker than we are. No, that's mean. That's totally mean. I should never say things like that. I don't know who they were. They were nice guys. They helped us out. Maybe they would have been nice regardless of who we were. Oh yeah, so Lindsay just, so who wants to go on a car trip, right? Lindsay just posted a link to the video of the final moment, I think, when the first time we attempted to get the car out and couldn't. So that shows the train of pickup trucks like trying really hard. That was the try hard train. Trip. Definitely a trip. Actually, Ren, I think I got a text from you, like, that I noticed the next morning, and you were like, "Hey, you still awake?" I was like, "Oh, Greg must have called me while I was busy being dead after that, like, ordeal from yesterday." Yeah, I slept hard that night. Slept like a champion sleeper. Like, people should have given me an award. And then the next night, I couldn't sleep at all. My body was like, "What? You expect us to go to sleep? You didn't even pull a truck out of the ground. Why would we be tired right now?" I'm like, "Well, because I have to be in the car for like 6 hours and then get home and stream. It'd be nice if I could get some sleep, you know?" Nope. Nope. I know. Sleep is for the weak. Oh, blah. Someone was... too much. Did I overdo it? Yeah, I think changing colors on accident. Oh, I didn't. Move to play. Okay, I think. I think that'll do it for the quarter. So I think my compositing needs some work in terms of some of the contains a locked layer. Ooh, okay. Let's see. Makes sense now. Ow. I was gonna say something. I don't remember. Yeah, so some lighting and whatever needs to be fixed, but I think like that's way too dark now in my foreground. It's just too dark. What else can I say? Not gonna work. But I do think it's a good time for me to take a little break, and when I get back, I will fix this. Okay. I will see you all in a bit.
Where I'm at.
Hi, I'm Lindsay G. I am the writer, editor, and co-founder of Oneshi Press.
Hi, Jayel Draco here, illustrator, designer, and co-founder of Oneshi Press.
Oneshi Press is an independent publisher of books in print and digital formats.
Supported by people like yourself.
Right now, we have a graphic novel, a comic book, and an art book all in the works.
Oneshi Press offers you unique realities that you can't find elsewhere.
Oneshi Press aims to create vibrant, living, breathing worlds and invites readers into those worlds to explore.
Our current goal at Oneshi Press is to keep 3 projects in rotation at all times.
Oneshi Press is currently working on 3 projects. The first one is Tracy Queen.
Tracy Queen is a whip-smart gonzo,
sex-positive, feminist porn star. She funds her own way and makes her own way through the world, but she has a background in organized crime. As she gains notoriety through her career, she earns a lot of powerful enemies in different sectors and decides that she needs to protect herself. With the help of her super genius electrical engineer raccoon best friend Nicola, she creates an army of cyborg clones using genetic samples that she collects on the sets of her adult films.
She's badass, she's in control, and she's taking matters into her own hands.
The Great Nations of Rendaraia is our first large-scale art book.
Written and illustrated from the perspective of Jan Kazian, a character from the greater story, The Children of Gaia. In this fantasy world, the 6 great nations have since been destroyed.
All 6 of these great nations have mysteriously fallen, and now the scholar monk Jan Kazian is trying to preserve their memory in a tome.
Jan Kazian's goal is to keep their cultural histories alive, with hope that it might lend aim to a budding future.
It's a really beautiful and epic book that takes place within the larger framework of the greater story Children of Gaia. In Pack, Oneshi's first comic book outing, you can join Patience and his dogs of virtue
as they put crime under the fang.
They prowl the streets of Brooklyn at night,
looking for corruption, and where they find it, they dispatch their own brand of justice.
There's Patience, a broken man living on the edge with his pack. Diligence, the orphaned eastern wolf. Chastity, the exploited Tibetan mastiff. Kindness, the abused pit bull terrier. Temperance, the experimental blue dane. Liberty, the seasoned German shepherd. And humility, the abandoned mutt. Once you've heard their stories, you'll see things from their perspective.
But at what point of taking the law into your own hands does one become the villain?
All 3 of these huge projects have been in the works for years. My co-founder Jayel Draco and I used to spend our days working at our 9-to-5s and our evenings and weekends working on these projects. But as they continued to build, we realized that they were way too important to us for us to keep them on the back burner.
Creating worlds is no small endeavor. These projects are big, and we need your support to get them done.
So we've decided to launch a Patreon page. Patreon is a subscription service by which you can donate small or large amounts of money if you want to on a monthly repeating basis, thereby making what we're doing scalable. So if we're making a small amount of money, we can put out a small amount of materials to our loyal followers. But the more people that get involved and the more that they can donate, the faster we will be able to make the production of these projects happen.
We need funding. No amount is too small. The more funding we get, the more we can get done.
Oneshi Press aims to have at least 3 projects going at any given time. As soon as one project is completed, we'll put another one into the roster and keep it rolling.
These projects will have snippets released in turn, one after the other, on a rotational basis.
We hope that we'll be able to finish all of our projects this way, and eventually we would love to open it up so that we can publish works by other people as well.
To find out more about us, our projects, and our growing team, visit oneshipress.com.
Many of our projects have their own websites as well.
Through our website, oneshipress.com, you can find out more about each individual project, and there's links to those projects' websites.
Tracy Queen actually has her own website with a blog, and her own Tumblr and Twitter and Facebook.
To help support Oneshi Press, visit our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/oneshipress.
On our Patreon page, you can pledge whatever amount you're able to and sign up for a whole variety of really great rewards, ranging from access to our private members-only Patreon feed to exclusive behind-the-scenes artwork and information, ranging the whole way up to custom-made artwork, stories, and more from your favorite characters.
At Oneshi Press, we build worlds, and you're invited.
Support our Patreon if you can, but if you can't, we'd still love it if you could like our stuff on social media, share it, tell your friends about it, get everybody involved.
Thank you so much for your support. And remember, every like, share, and comment on social media actually boosts our signal, and that helps too.
Thanks for your support. The music you're hearing is by Jack Shell, thesoundweaver.com.
Something else that I wanted to do, and I can't remember what it is, and I wrote it.
Switching back over, just give me a second to get set up here.
Okay. And I fucked it up. Damn it! I was doing so
I am back.
a lot. I can't do this. I'm sorry. It was terrible.
That's fine.
No.
Howdy.
Anybody still there? Did I lose you all on that break? Maybe I did. Probably my fault. I shouldn't have broke. Sometimes you gotta break. Alright, well, I think I'm just gonna finish the levels on this one layer. I think the smartest thing for me to do here, convert that to a smart object and actually just apply a levels filter. Let's see if that works. This way I'm not actually applying levels to the layer. I can go back on my word if I want to. I want to bump up highlights. This is gonna be the last full-size illustration in this book, so I really want it to be like leaving on the best note possible. I want this page to sing. I nudge that a little to selection. Making this apply. Call it extra shade. Now I feel like she's a bit darker than him. I like where his highlights are, but I feel like he could use some shading. So So. Bonus. Adjustments. All right. Now, I feel like it's pretty close. No, I'm not like that. Alright, let's undo those last two. Nope, this might be done. That might be, be a wrap. Well, alright folks, I hope you've all enjoyed this this stream tonight. Just to review, this was the original sketch, scanned directly from my sketchbook without, you know, you can even see that's actually the edge of my sketchbook right there. This is with no effects on it. No filter, hashtag. And then this is the background. Scanned from my sketchbook. No effects. Yeah, took those two pieces and I combined them into this. This I did in last week's stream live. and this I did today in the car. And this I did in today's stream. So Lindsay says beautiful. Thanks, Lindsay. I'm glad you like it. And yeah, I guess stay tuned. Next Tuesday I'll have another stream up, and you know, we'll take it from there. I might do I might either wait, so I'll have 2 weeks of Tracy Queen coming up starting next Tuesday and the following Tuesday, and then after that I'll have 2 weeks of Pack on Tuesday, and then after that should be my last week or two from Great Nations. So anything lingering, you know, I'll either do then or I'll do during impromptu streams between now and then, because Great Nations is really, really close to ready to being published. So, you know, we want to get that out there as soon as possible. Anywho, thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed, and have a great night. Safe and swift.